You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. We'll be talking all about the Queenborough Harbour Trust. As always, it's great to see the both of you. I was hoping you could introduce yourselves, give us a little bit of an introduction into the Harbour Trust, and tell us how you got involved as well.
Good evening, Daniel. Thanks for having us here along tonight. Well, the Queenborough Harbour Trust started about 4 years ago when Swale Council decided, for reasons of finance, that they could no longer keep supporting the harbour at Queenborough, and were in a situation where they were facing closing the harbour, and a number of people, some of them residents from Queenborough, and some like myself who live elsewhere, in my case of course in Sheerness, decided that once we lost the moorings at Queenborough, and as they say in our local supermarket, once it's gone, so we just put ourselves together as a group in order to put a bid in so that we would run the harbour and keep that local facility going, which is what we did. So since that time, the Queenborough Harbour Trust has been running the moorings at Queenborough, out on the swale, and the town side of the creek. So that is a brief introduction to Queenborough Harbour Trust. I'm delighted to have with me this evening Mark Evans, who is our experienced and very able harbour manager, harbour controller. I'll get him to say.
Thank you very much, Geoff. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been involved in the harbour since December when Geoff, Patrick and the others took me on board. Working part-time at the moment, about 3 days a week, helping to manage all the harbour activities, increasing our sale of moorings, raising income so that we can spend more money on the harbour and develop it further, and generally promoting the harbour to visitors and anyone interested in the boating community and in getting access to the swale.
So the trustees of Queenborough Harbour Trust are all volunteers. The company itself, Queenborough Harbour Trust, is a not-for-profit organisation, which means that any money that goes into Queenborough Harbour Trust, the moorings that we take, for example, go back into reinvestment for the benefit of the harbour and the benefit of Queenborough and the benefit of people who like to go boating in these excellent waters in the vicinity. We are a truly community group.
I think the both of you were going to give us a little bit of an update on how things have been going since we last spoke.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. Since we last spoke, there are a number of things have been progressing thanks to the support of variety of people and organisations such as Swale Borough Council, Queenborough Fishery Trust, local people, local community from Queenborough. And indeed the government itself. We have been able to put into place £550,000 worth of investment in Queenborough Harbour, which is a reasonable sum, we think, and we have, with that money, been able to put in place a new floating pontoon, very substantial, 60 metres long by 9 metres wide, weighing in excess of 500 tonnes, that is anchored in the swale. And it's like a rock. I've been on it in substantial force 8 winds, and the rest of the sea is pounding up and down, but the actual pontoon is remaining very, very still, very calm, a nice place to anchor. So we've got the new pontoon in place, which is a great attraction for visiting mariners as well as local people, because now in addition to the new pontoon, we've been able to completely resurface the all-tide landing, which was before had been closed when it was owned by the yacht club. It had to be closed for reasons of health and safety. We have borrowed slightly in excess of £100,000 in order to refurbish the all-tide landing and So now it is a good all tide landing, very substantial, very safe, very sound. So those are two major pieces of development. We've now got extensive pontoons which are directly linked to Queenborough via the all tide landing. But I know Mark is going to bring you up to date with some further improvements and updates since then.
Yeah, so regarding the all-tide landing, I think the last couple of years it's been very difficult to maintain it and keep it open, and there was a period where it's closed because we had some substantial damage, but we can happily sit here now and say that the whole of the walkway has been replaced with new timber over the last 3 or 4 months. So we've now got safe access along the full 180 metres of the walkway down to the floating pontoon. We've repaired the 2 aluminium bridges which both had damage. They've had damage for a number of years now, but we've managed to get those out of place, repair them and put them back in place again. So I think in terms of where we are now to where we were just 6 months ago, it's a massive improvement, and it's a much safer place for everyone, people whether they're coming by boat or just walking down to the pontoon to visit. It's a much safer place to be.
I remember that one of my useless facts, that if you put all the pieces of wood that have gone onto the pontoon and put them end to end, you could walk from Queenborough to the other side of Sittingbourne. Yeah, there you are. Share that with you.
That's it. It's a fair distance.
Fair distance. Should we talk about our new personnel?
Yes, we've got a new person joined us a little while ago. We've had Phil Shaw has worked for us for a number of years. He's our senior deckhand, and he's been joined recently by Phil Stock, who's our new deckhand. Phil's been training up for the last 2 months, so he's pretty much fully trained up now. So if you come down to the harbour and you visit by boat, one of the Phils will be there on any one particular day. We've also got another Philip, which is Philip Reckless, who's working for us as a friend or volunteer, and Philip's a bit of a whiz when it comes to IT and databases, so he's helping us to improve our website. He's helping us build databases so that we can send out mail shots to people. We've also taken on, in the last 3 or 4 months, a guy called Rob Jackson. Rob works for the NHS Monday to Friday, but weekends he gives up a lot of his spare time to help us, especially on Saturdays when we're really busy in the harbour. And we're training Rob up as a part-time deckhand, so when we're short of staff, we need an extra person, we can give Rob a call and Rob will come in and do pretty much everything that Phil Shaw and Phil Stock do. We've got a number of other volunteers joining soon. Glenn Wade is going to come along and do some painting for us, and we've got another person coming along this Thursday to look around the facility, understand what it is that we're doing, to see whether it's something that he might be interested in helping as a volunteer. We, as Geoff mentioned, we are not for profit, so we need to save money wherever we can so that we can spend money on the facilities rather than pay contractors unnecessarily to do what might be some building work, some carpentry work, electrical work, metal work, admin. So if you think you're sitting at home and maybe you've got some spare time, maybe you've got some skills that we can use, or maybe you'd like to put something back into the community, or maybe you're looking for work experience, then if you get in touch with us, come down to the harbour, we'll show you around, we'll point out the types of things that we're looking for help with, and you can let us know whether that's something you might be interested in. Whether it's an hour here or there, a day, half a day, it really doesn't matter to us. What's important is we get a variety of people come along to help us to just lift the facility, maintain the facilities, and just move everything forward.
Indeed, if you're thinking of volunteering or would just like an insight into what's going on at Queenborough, then have a look at the Queenborough Harbour Trust Facebook or the Queenborough Harbour Trust website, and that will give you a fair indication of what's going on there. And we would be delighted for you to go there and see us, or indeed come to see us in person.
I think you were going to let us know some of the services you provide and what they are.
Yep, okay. As you'd expect, most of our services centre around mooring boats on the water. We've got a number of deep water moorings which are accessible 24 hours a day. swinging moorings. We have 4.5 moorings. We also have some shoal draft moorings, which are slightly lower price. So if somebody's got a small boat, they don't mind settling in the mud for a few hours each day, they can pick up one of those moorings. We've got moorings in the creek. We only have 12 moorings, and there's a waiting list. So as soon as one becomes vacant, there's already somebody ready to take over the next mooring. We've got some moorings on the pontoon as well. And we've also got, amongst our moorings, around about 50 spaces for visitors. So on a good weekend, we can take up to 50 visitors, more or less. There was one weekend a few weeks ago where we turned people away. We had so many visitors coming in, we just couldn't accommodate them. And we get visitors come from all over, obviously the UK, also from Holland, Belgium, Germany, Holland, America, Holland. We get a lot of we get a lot of Dutch visitors. We're very, very popular with the Dutch. Not so many French. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's something to do with their ports always being closed. But we get a lot of Dutch and a lot of other visitors. So this year so far, as we are around about middle of August, we've already had 1,500 boats visit this year. I think last year the total was 1,650 boats. So it looks like we're easily going to beat last year's number.
And last year was a record number.
And last year was the best we'd had. So yeah, if this year carries on as it is, it's going to be even better.
And of course, more boats means more trade for Queenborough in the pubs and the restaurants. So
yeah,
and the shop.
Yeah, and the shops locally. We're directing a lot of people into Sheerness. A lot of people want to go into Sheerness, so either get the bus or the train into Sheerness. A lot of people walk. A lot of people are going to further ashore to further inland, to other shops and restaurants and so on. So people are interested in the island, and they're interested not just in what's close to the water, but what's a little bit further away. We're quite lucky. A couple of months ago, we had a wind farm vessel, 15-metre catamaran, come in as a wind farm support vessel, which usually would have gone to Ramsgate or Whitstable, but access from Queenborough is much better than it is at either of those two ports. There is restricted access getting to Ramsgate. It's the same for Whitstable. So they were based here for about 2 months, back and forwards each day, and they were taking painters out to the new construction on the Kentish Flats, moving painters from one platform to another, and back in each evening. So that was quite nice. Gave us some extra income too. We've also had X-Pilot in support of the Red Sands project. Is coming along probably on average 2 or 3 times a month. Spec was here 2 or 3 days this weekend. We have Kevin Jarvis takes people out on fishing trips and seal watching trips. And this year we've taken on an extra 25 mooring holders. So we've got very few moorings left now. We do have some still, but they are going very quickly. And even though we're in the middle of the summer, people are still coming along each week and asking about taking on a mooring. And as a sideline to that is we've also managed to help Queenborough Yacht Club increase their membership by probably around 20 this year alone. So there's all sorts of benefits from the harbour. And
that's because we offer, isn't it, a 12.5% discount for all our moorings if the person concerned is a member of Queenborough Yacht Club.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people.
That's a good inducement to join Queenborough Yacht Club.
Yeah.
It's part of our support for the community, and I'm glad it's successful.
Yeah, it's growing nicely. So yeah, I think all in all, we have had a good year in terms of the investment we put into the harbour, but also that's been repaid by people trusting us, bringing their boats to us to moor them permanently, and people taking an interest in visiting, and we get lots of positive feedback.
And I suppose that's borne out by the fact that the Clipper racing yachts are returning to us again this year. I remember they was with us at the end of August last year. Very impressive boats, huge, I believe 80 feet long.
20 metres.
20 metres long.
Yeah, 70 feet.
Yeah, spiteful racing machines, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they were, how many have we got coming this year?
12 clipper yachts plus a 23-metre committee boat as well.
Yes,
And
that's organised and spearheaded by our patron, Sir Robin Knox Johnson, who will be down as well. What's the dates for that? Remind me.
they're going to come into us on Sunday the 30th of August, and we expect them to arrive around about 9 o'clock in the evening, and they're going to pretty much take up nearly all the moorings in the harbour, because these are pretty large vessels, take up a lot of space. And we expect them then on the Monday, Bank Holiday Monday morning, to go across to Southend for the race start. We're just waiting confirmation of that race start time, but if you were in and around the harbour early on Monday morning, that would be a good time to come down and take a look over the boats.
It is a very impressive sight.
Yeah.
It is a very impressive sight.
We are at the moment talking all about the Queenborough Harbour Trust, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you're funded.
Well, we're funded primarily, of course, by the mooring fees that we have from our regular mooring holders, as well as by the mooring fees that we have from visitors. We are a CIC, Community Interest Company, and all the money that we get is reinvested in the company, is back into the facilities at Queenborough. Therefore, it's very important that we realise our maximum amount of revenue that we can from the mooring holders. So our rates are always good value, but they are reasonable rates too. So the moorings are our primary source of funding, and through them then we are able to realise services such as the extended CCTV system that we have recently put into place, which enables us now to survey and keep some surveillance on the waters in the swale, and that is monitored by our full-time professional harbour operators. And other services we are looking to roll out over the immediate future will be coming into place, and they're all provided by the funds that our mooring holders give us. In addition to that, of course, we have Mark's excellent scheme, which he initiated to help pay for the all-tide landing. Remember I said that it cost us in excess of £110,000 to reinstall the all-tide landing. To help pay for that, Mark has come up with a adopt a plank scheme, which I'll let Mark explain.
Okay, yep. So the idea was to find a nice way to raise a substantial sum of money, but also a way in which we can get more people involved in the harbour. There are a lot of people supporting the harbour, but I thought it would be quite nice if there's a more personal way where people can show their support or show their interest. So we launched Adopt a Plank about 3 months ago, and we are able to manufacture a small plaque which measures about 5 inches by 4 inches, and we can put an inscription on each of those plaques. And the idea is we fix those along our new walkway. So we've got a newly refurbished walkway, lovely new hardwood timber, and plaques running the whole length of the walkway from the shore all the way down to the new pontoon. And we estimate we've got space for about 1,200 planks there, which we can get adopted. And for £25 you can adopt half a plank and get a silver plaque engraved, and for £50 you can adopt a whole plank and get a gold plaque engraved. And so far we've raised almost £6,000 in just the first 3 months, and we have something like 180 plaques on the walkway at the moment. This Sunday, Geoff,
well, before we get to this Sunday, the plaques are adopted by people for a variety of reasons. Obviously to show their support of Queenborough Harbour and developing the services there, facilities, but also the plaques may advertise a business. The plaques may be in recognition of people's boats. A number of the plaques are in memory of a loved one who enjoyed spending their time on boats, going fishing, or walking the length of the harbour. And as well as that, there's a new development that is coming on now. You may remember that on the bridges in Paris, lovers put locks on the bridge with their names on it. Well, one of the sides of the bridge fell off due to the weight of the lock, so they've stopped that practice in Paris. I'm not suggesting that people put locks on our all-tide landing, but they are commemorating their affections for each other by adopting a plank. I remember one says, "I am looking for," having given their names, "I am looking forward in coming back to Queenborough in 10 years' time, knowing that I will love you more." So that's a very a very nice development. So all kinds of people are adopting the planks for all kinds of reasons, and we have been supported by Swale Borough Council, by our local MP Gordon Henderson, by a whole variety of people, and of course we would be delighted to have your name on our plaque on the all-tide landing. To do that, it's quite straightforward. You can go onto the website, the Queenborough Harbour Trust website, and there it is simplicity itself to adopt a plank by using PayPal, or you can telephone the harbour, do it over the phone, or come in person to the harbour office in Queenborough and go through the process there. Anyway, we'll be very happy to provide you with a plaque. On Sunday, the one just gone, we had an open day, so that anybody who had adopted a plaque on the plank could come along and see their plaque in place. And we had a good number of people coming in what was absolutely a gorgeous day, coming down onto the all-tide landing. And it was such a positive experience. I think everybody who came commenting how lovely it was to see the all-tide landing restored, how beautiful it looked, and then coming to see their plaques. And those who hadn't seen their plaques before were genuinely moved. They brought flowers to mark the commemorative plaques, and there was a tear in more than one eye as they laid their flowers alongside the plaque. It was such a successful occasion that we would like to make that a regular occurrence, and we will be in contact with people when the next opening takes place. We can guarantee the plaques will be there. We can't guarantee the weather will be as good, but obviously we'll try and put in a good word for us there. But we look forward to seeing you onto the all-tide landing.
I'm going to move on to volunteering.
Yeah, so just a reminder, if you are interested in helping out the harbour, if you've got some skills we could utilise, there really isn't any limit to this, I don't think. I mean, we're not looking for a skilled bricklayer, but if you can handle cement and mortar, that would be great. We're not looking for a skilled carpenter, but if you can saw a piece of wood and screw a few nails in, that would be great. We're not looking for a skilled mechanic, but if you can drill a hole in metal and file off some sharp edges, that's the sort of thing we're looking for. So we're not looking for, a craftsman necessarily. Well, if you are, that's a bonus. But we are looking for people that have got a range of skills to take some of the burden off of what we're trying to do at the moment. There's an endless, imagine with the harbour and the environment of the salt water, there's an endless list of repairs and maintenance and improvements that we need to put together. And the more people we can get helping out, whether it's an hour here and there or half a day or a weekend, then the quicker we can move everything forward and the more items on our list we can tick off. We've got a lot of improvements we want to make and a lot of changes, and at the moment we're constrained, one by finances and two by resources. If you've got admin skills, if you're good with perhaps Photoshop, that type of thing. If you're good with Facebook, there's all sorts of things that you could help us out with. So give us a shout. If you think, I'm not quite sure if that's for me, as I say, come down to the harbour. We'll show you around. We'll point out some of the jobs we've got, and you can either say, yes, that would be great, I'd like to help, or no, thank you, it's not for me. So there's no obligation, but come down, have a look around, have a chat, get to meet us, and see whether you think that might be something that you would like to do.
So as Mark's saying, we're looking for all types of people, those with marine type experience, those with practical skills, those with an office skills type background. These are all the type of people that we would very much like to encourage, as well as those people who are looking for work experience that will help suit them for a job in the future. If you've been out of work perhaps for a little while and you want to get back into the world of work, then give us a ring, contact us. We can help perhaps provide some useful experience, something useful to go onto your CV to show future employers that you are a serious contender with valuable experience behind you. And just as we are looking for people in the harbour with a practical application, so we're looking for people to help us to manage the harbour. So if you have experience in business, in industry, in financial management, and you would like to think about being a part of the team that help direct and manage the harbour, then why don't you come and pay us a visit? We'll take you for a tour around the facilities that we have. We'll talk to you about the obligations that there are, and they're serious obligations and responsibilities you will have in a more senior post in the organisation. And again, with no obligation, we can talk that through, and maybe there is a contribution that you can make there, a part that you can play. We would be delighted to hear from you and discuss that. And I know that shortly we will be giving you our contact details again, so that you can get in contact with us.
And I think before you go, you're just going to go over those useful contact details for our listeners.
Yep, it's really easy. We've got a great website, and because so many people visit it, all you need to do is go into a search engine such as Google and type in Queenborough Harbour, and it will come up pretty much at the top of the list. Or you can search for us on Facebook, again, Queenborough Harbour, or you can give us a call, which is 662 051. 662 051.
Well, as always, it's been great to have the both of you here. Thank you very much once again for updating our listeners on how things are going at the Queenborough Harbour Trust.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, Daniel.
So that is us talking all about the Queenborough Harbour Trust this evening here at the Monday Night Community Show.